Let's call this to order, the January 9th, 2024 meeting of the Ports and Harbors Advisory Board for the City of Ketchikan. May, would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Floor?
Here.
Mr. Hang?
Here.
Mr. Bethel?
Here.
Mr. Castle?
Here.
Mr. Lundy?
Here.
Mr. Rhodes?
Here.
Mr. Lucy?
Here.
Would you join me for the pledge of allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. On to approval of minutes.
Move to approve. Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? See none. All in favor of approving the minutes, say aye. Aye. Anybody opposed? Okay, that passes unanimously. Communications, we have a copy of the resolution for the rate increase that your city council just approved the other night. And the report for January. Do we have anybody signed up for persons to be heard tonight? And if I ask if anybody else in the audience wants to speak, it would still be no. No unfinished business, new business, annual election of officers. So this is the opportunity to select a new chair and vice chair. I think we're a month or so late, not a big deal. I don't mind doing it, but if somebody wants to do it, I would certainly encourage them to take the gavel. So, are there any nominations for the chair?
I nominate Mark Floor.
We'll consider that a second.
Just the grin on his face.
Okay. All right, so all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Yay, okay. We should have a vice chair in case I'm smart enough to not show up one night.
Who's our current vice chair?
Tim.
I nominate Tim.
That's a second.
All right.
All right, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All right, so you got the same old crowd you had last year.
Didn't learn a thing.
Director's report.
I'll start with the harbors here. Our 2024 budget was approved. All our CIP projects were fully funded. Nothing got axed, so that is good. And also our full operating budget got approved. They didn't cut anything on that, so everything went so smoothly there. As normal, when it goes that smooth, we always wish we would have asked for more. But I think we had a pretty conservative budget, but with still being able to get some things done that need to be done. Our harbor rate resolution, I kind of wrote this wrong. It was my understanding that it had to get do 2 readings, but with the new resolution policy, it only was the 1.
Right.
So we're done on that.
That avoids.
Yeah, so it is a fully approved and done, and so we won't have to revisit that for a couple of years. See where we're at. So on that.
Should I save questions for the end?
Oh, you know, it's like,
Just to back up a little, I don't, I feel kind of checked out of what our CIP projects are for the year. They all got funded.
I remember them off the top of my head. It was the normal stuff, dredging Bar Harbor North, pilings, concrete work for Bar Harbor North. The new ones we had this year is money for security cameras. New maintenance shop,
The planning.
planning of the new maintenance shop.
Right.
Doors for the office, probably be new bathroom doors this year. Pump out stations. What else am I forgetting? I feel like I'm forgetting something.
Yeah, I remember now we've touched on those. I just thought I'd see what was under that umbrella. Pump out stations?
Yeah.
What do we need to do?
We need new ones.
Okay.
Harbor North and Case Marion.
Oh, okay.
Both those have been out for a while. I'm hoping to get grants to pay for both of those. We got money to buy one. If I can get grant to buy one, then we still have money to get the second. I'm gonna try to get grants to pay for both of them. is my goal on that.
Alrighty. Well, thanks for letting me get
Yeah,
off there for a second.
I'll email you a full list tomorrow morning,
Sure.
just so if I missed anything.
Well, like if the public approaches us, go, okay, well,
Yeah.
here's all the things we're working on and here's what we can afford and what's funded.
If you want, I made a booklet for the city council. I still have a couple copies of those. If you want to stop by and grab one of those, it's got everything in there with pictures and stuff.
I will. I'll save you
Yeah.
the work. Yeah,
Yeah.
thanks.
Yes, just stop by and I'll have it at the front counter here for you.
Would you mind if I did the same, James?
No, not at all.
Cool, if you got two, I'll do that.
First come, first serve.
No, I can print off more. They just won't be in the fancy binders for the city council.
So much the better.
So, yeah, I'll print them off and have them to the office. And if anybody in the public who's watching on YouTube wants to stop and pick some up, they can do that as well.
Well, thanks for that.
Yeah, no problem. So yeah, harbor rates is taken care of, and what we're gonna do is probably in the February billing cycle, we'll have included with everybody's bills, will be kind of a flyer, just reminding people, hey, new rates are gonna be taking effect this time and what they expect to see. Probably have like a price sheet with everything laid out for them, so try to keep reminding people and giving them heads up that, hey, April 1st, things are gonna change to be ready for that. Assistant harbor master, our open position. I did some interviews before the new year. We had a really strong candidate, and I've recommended him downtown to be hired. I'm just waiting for a bunch of HR people have been out over the holidays and whatnot, so they're trying to get caught up. Hopefully, he gets approved this week, and he'll be starting by the end of the month or 1st of February. Then we'll be fully staffed on our harbor master side after that. One thing we did add to the budget after our initial budget hearing was we squeaked in being able to get a third maintenance position. That position is going to be fully funded by the port. So that person is going to be mostly down doing port stuff, but what that'll allow us to do is pull them two guys that spent a lot of time on the port last summer. One of them guys will be able to be down working in the harbor where we really need them work. So it'll free up a person to get more stuff done in the harbor as well. And that person will be able to, if there's a big project in the harbor, he's not going to sit there and go, hey, I'm the port guy, you're on your own. He will be able to come and help out on any big projects in the harbor as needed. So that was a big win for us, for the council that doesn't want to create new positions. We were able to create that third maintenance position, which is going to be a big help in the harbor and on the port in the years to come on that. Speaking of maintenance, with all these storms, we did have one finger float break free in Far Harbor North. Luckily, the guys got to it before it completely ripped off. The harbor masters got the boats moved off of it with no damage to anybody's boats or anything. In a couple days, as soon as the weather broke, the guys got in there and got that completely repaired and fixed up. So that's the only major damage we've had during the storms, and hopefully that's the only thing we'll have in the summer or for the rest of the winter. Fingers crossed. Other than that, the harbors are plugging along, and yeah, pretty quiet. I'll let Craig tell you about the port.
Sorry. Our budget was passed as well. I think we had one comment that I answered as a question about the guard shack, so that was about it. Our projects, if you wanted to know, new guard shack for berth 1. The guard shack that's on berth 1 is going to go to Florida to replace that yellow nasty little thing that kind of sits there at the crosswalk. You've seen that, so those two will match down there. The new guard shack isn't going to be a break room, kind of like the berth 2 guard shack is, but it'll be a spot where we can store things in the winter. All of our water meters and stuff go into the KVB. We're going to lose that space. That's been kind of our storage area. So that area will give us that in the winter, and then a dry place to work in the summer when we're trying to tie delineators and just do stuff, we have to deal with during the summer. So it'll be mostly a kind of work area shop, not a break room, but also the front part will be a little guard shack. We're going to put away money for Yokohama replacement on berth 1 and 2. Those are getting old and worn, undersized at this point with the ships, so it's becoming a safety issue. And we want to get those replaced, so we're gonna start pigeonholing some money there. Promenade and, well, hopefully a bathymetric survey of the entire port. It's gonna be part of the CIP with P&D Engineering. They're getting that all together right now. We're also gonna do an above water survey of berth 1 and 2. There was a study done in 2016. There's a bunch of vents, and those are the ones that kind of go across, beams and vents or whatever. They were getting pretty thin, the metal was, so they're gonna redo that study and see where we're at, and then we're gonna have a plan to fix that stuff. And that could be quite substantial. Yes.
So we paid to have a study done, and there was no action on the study,
No action as far as you can tell.
and now we're gonna pay to do it again,
Yes,
and hope we have some action.
yes. So this time we'll get it and we'll actually do something.
And that
We're gonna have
wasn't-
to.
That wasn't meant pointed at you, I was just general comment.
It was end of an era, right?
2016, I'm not sure what was going on. It was well before COVID,
Yeah.
so who knows what happened there.
Hmm.
There was enough issues that I think something should have been done.
Mhm.
We're probably not gonna find that things have improved.
That was actually part of what the RFP was gonna pay for, was the cathodic protection.
Yeah.
But we didn't go that direction, so there was no alternative, there was no backup plan for funding of that at the time.
All right, we're gonna start doing that. Getting to a point where we have critical failure, we're gonna lose probably berth 2 and berth 1. So we wanna make sure we can keep those things running. That's really it for our major CIPs.
And the port CIPs are in the book as well.
Cameras, I've actually talked about that .4 here. Like graffiti all the time, we're still getting it. I think the day that I wrote this little blurb here, we had fresh graffiti on the benches that are down in the pavilion. So we're down there painting in really bad weather, cold, wet, trying to get it covered up as best we can.
Are there's no cameras down there? Or is there?
There's a camera that looks right at it, but the placement of it, put it right next to a light. So all you see is a big bright light and kind of shadows moving, but you can clearly see people doing it. You just can't make out it.
Who it is?
So we're gonna move that camera out. So maybe we can catch it if it happens now, but we're funded fully for new cameras. We've been in touch with the KPU. They're getting everything together and might even have those up before the season starts. So that would be nice.
Is there like a specific group based on what they've been spraying that you might?
One guy for sure, 5150 was everywhere. I think they actually wrote it on one of the dolphins down on berth 4. Just saw it yesterday. So we gotta cover that up with galvanized paint. But they use really good paint. Doesn't come off, can't scrub it, you gotta repaint things. There's one spot on the promenade where we scoured the wood. Probably gonna have to replace those boards at some point. From pressure washing it, cause it just wouldn't come off. It was like white road paint. So, it's been an issue. Yeah, so the cameras are gonna be hopefully a big help. I think we cover like 6% of the port with the cameras we have. They're all very centrally located, so wherever we have a building like the KPP or the guard shack, that's where the cameras are, so you don't get anything out. Talking with KPU, we'll be able to put them up on poles, kind of spread them out, be able to get a little more coverage, or almost the whole port covered. So, port security, hiring about 42 people this year. That'll be the same as last year. I think we are 10 less calls, but we're just gonna keep it right at about 42 because that worked last year. Previous year, we had less shifts and I had 45 people. That was too many. So back it down last year and found that was just about right with, kids that go to camp or family vacations or weddings or whatever. We kind of always have enough people even during 4th of July, about 42. And we have, I think, nine folks already. It's been open 2 weeks, 3 weeks. That's going. It'll be open until closed, really. We hit the port maintenance. We talked about cameras and vandalism. Something not on your list is 5 Yokohama replacement berth 4. That went out for bid right after Christmas, right before Christmas. Right before Christmas. and closed yesterday. We got the bids we wanted. We're gonna present that to council on the 18th for our proposal or what our recommendation is. Hopefully we get those Yokohamans here before the season. The people we want to go with said 3-month window to get them done in here. So if that happens, that'll be what, April, we'll say. And we'll have about 3 weeks. It's only 6 Yokohamas and we replace, 2 a week. It takes about 2 hours to do one. So maintenance guys can probably get those done in, I'd say, 2 to 3 days, weather dependent. So we'll have a little window there to have it done before the season starts. That would be nice because they'll be 2 feet wider. That's going to put the ship 2 feet farther out. Right now, the Yokohamas are 6-footers and they've been used so much. Maybe they're just bad when they went in, but those Yokohamas squash down to about 2 feet. So you have nothing really between the dock, the ship. And a kind of unintended consequence of that is the gangways that come off the ship go onto berth 4, that little floating barge. And there's a rail there, and there's only about 3 feet of space as that ship gets smashed in closer and closer. So this will push that out, make a little more walkway. Some of those ramps, people like to stumble down the last 2 steps. So this will give us a little bit more cushion there.
And this is the one where Ketchikan Dock Company's paying the difference, right?
Yes.
And did they also see the bid? Did they know what their portion is? They're good with it, right?
Yeah, they've been in the loop the whole time.
Perfect.
Talking with Ethan and those guys, so
Okay.
should be good to go. Any questions?
Okay.
Sorry talking a lot. But
Thank you.
And the new ones are gonna be 8 foot?
the new ones on berth 4 will be 8
Or
feet
they'll be 8 foot, yeah.
and a higher density foam. So it can smash fast.
What's a typical, or is there an expected service life on stuff like that?
Someone else asked me that today, and I would say probably like the rest of the stuff, you want to try to get like 25, 30 years out of it.
Oh, really? That long?
Possible.
Wow.
I don't know what condition those were in when they went into berth 4. I don't know if anybody does. I don't know if they're brand new, but it'd be nice to get a little more. I think with the higher density foam, we should extend the life a little bit. But who knows? Ships are getting bigger and bigger. So that's just a lot of force on these. There's only 6. They're catching a whole ship. So you go down to berth 1 and 2, you got like 14 catching a ship. So you spread that out for quite a lot of area. We'll see.
So did those ones probably go in when berth 4 was open? So they've been there the whole time, right?
Yeah.
Do you remember what year that was? Seemed like a long time ago.
It's like 16 years ago.
And like Craig said, we don't know if it's, oh, we got these ones laying around, let's use those. That deal, when we bought them used somewhere.
Okay.
I have a question. What's the status on the breakwater on Bar Harbor North? I think, as I
That's
recall,
still-
the bid came in too
Yeah, that's
high.
gonna be, the Army Corps, is supposed to be done this year, but when they did the budget last year, when they put it out to bid and everything, all the bids came back way more than they had budgeted for. So now they're gonna have to put it in the next budget. That extra amount of money, put it out to bid again, see if they have enough money to do it, and then hopefully 2025, they'll be putting in.
And then the price will go up again and it's like, so.
The only, I would say, good thing is it's not ours. So if
Right.
something does happen and it breaks, they gotta come and get it fixed.
Well, I know I've been asked about it and I'll be asked again.
Yeah, we don't own that. That's the Army Corps'. All we can do is kind of poke them and say, hey, where you at on this?
Right.
So,
Okay,
but I can do that. I can reach out and make sure they're
sure.
staying on it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay. Any future agenda items anybody wants to suggest?
I don't know if it'd be a future agenda item. I did look at a vehicle, the parking in Bar Harbor North is just kind of an issue right by the Harbor Master building. And that's, I don't know how long it takes Public Works before they deal with cars that just won't move. I counted the tickets on one car in the lot there. There was a dozen A lot of them I
that's-
couldn't read, couldn't even read them because they're so faded, but it was a stack of 12. I counted them, put them back under the windshield wiper. But
Yeah, that's
I don't know
that's
what,
a shut-in person on her boat.
oh,
She just pays the fines.
oh, okay. All right. Well, that's, yeah.
And that would be a public works
That's actually.
responsibility, or is that, what's that?
That parking enforcement,
Would be, okay.
yeah. And she's ruthless. She gave me a ticket. At the office.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Nick's got one.
So,
Anybody
Right.
else?
The only other thing I was thinking, I don't know if it'll make it to a future agenda item, is I think we talked about how chaotic it was with the extended season. And after the port security, all the kids went back to college. And I don't know if there's some ideas, I don't have any, but to not bridge the gap, but to extend, I didn't experience the chaos that some people talked about with the traffic once the,
Yeah, I did.
yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, I don't know if there's anything we could do about that. I don't particularly have an idea for a future item, but I just thought I'd bring it up.
If you want to see it on an agenda, I'm not sure what we could do. We can make suggestions.
I
things we
guess-
want to see. We
I
don't-
guess all I want to do is ask about it. So once the kids leave, I mean, you guys still looking for people, but it just seems like a difficult problem to solve.
So, you want me to talk about it?
Sure.
Okay, so when I started the job, I jumped in, kind of took, Dan had hired maybe like 30 people, and I hired the other 15, and I looked at the list, and everybody was high school, college. So kind of make a note what they're doing. There's a few folks who would have been available the whole season. So when I came on, started doing the hiring, just tried to hire only people who would be available for that full season, the 6 months. So that first year was a little rough. This last year was better. I think the first year we had 12 people that were start to finish. Last year we had 18, which was 50% increase, which is pretty good. I'd like to get that up to like 50%, just because handling the ships is kind of the easy part. You don't really need to worry about that. You have to have them there. It's easy. The street part's kind of what everybody sees and where you get all your complaints. So, I mean, have you ever got a call about somebody not standing at the bottom of the gangway? Like, probably not, but someone not doing the crossing guard, you probably hear about that. So, get as many of those folks that we can keep for the whole season. Playing with the idea of opening hiring would probably be in like the last part of June, even start of July, because it takes like 3 weeks to get somebody hired. It's kind of a pain in the butt. But to have somebody ready to go by like August 20th, we're gonna have to get going. Like July 4th would be a good start date, I think. Get them ready to go for the 20th of August, get them trained, get all their quick card, their flagger certification. So yes, have played with the idea of doing a mid-season hiring and just pick up folks that would be available for really 2 months. Other than that, open to suggestion, whatever anybody thinks.
And that's for anybody over the age of 18? Or is there an age limit?
There is actually no age limit. We don't get, I think we had one person apply that was 15. I think that's the youngest I've seen. They turned 16, I think, next week. So they actually went over to Craig the first week they were working, got their license. So they turned 16. There is no age limit, but they kind of don't get the younger ones, what I've found. So 16 would be a really young one.
Would be a young one.
Yeah, most of ours would be 17 and up. But the high school kids, when I hire them on, I tell them, I'm gonna need you for, 1 day a weekend in May and 1 day a weekend in September. To kind of give a little bit of a break to those guys that are working the whole season. And they've been really good about that. We had 12 high school kids last year. They all worked until the end of the season or until they weren't needed. Had a couple of the kind of supervisor, we call them security officers or assistant harbor masters, work for the schools. They were really good about coming in weekends, giving us a break because I have to be down there if they're not. And then also filling in a couple nights during the week. We have those late Thursdays,
The late
and
shifts.
Fridays.
Right.
So they'd come in after school was out on Friday afternoon and then work till 10 o'clock, which was kind of nice for us. So doing a few things with the hiring and letting people know this is what the expectation is if you want to have this job. And people have been really receptive to it and have accepted it. So we'll continue that, but other than that, mid-season hiring is going to be the next step.
So sometimes there's like retired folks that like to work the shoulder seasons because they want June, July, and August to go fishing and work in their garden and stuff like that. And I know like some companies will hire just retired folks that will just work in May and September on that shoulder season, and then they have the summer off, and then it kind of fills in for
Right.
for
I did do that with Rick Shaner. I don't know if anybody knows him. He'd been unemployed. He's like, hey, I'm going to be in town doing track. Can I work? Absolutely. So he worked May and a little bit of June, over one spot. So yeah, that's a great idea. We can do that. Get them. We did have a couple of people approach me mid-season, say, hey, is there any work for us? And I was like, 2 of you? When are you going to be available? They go, we're here till October. But we have a 3-week hunt over in Africa we got to do in September. So it's that purpose really. So there are people interested. Yeah, maybe we can capitalize on that. Capture them. May is not as bad. It's September.
Part of the, the kids that come from the high school, I don't know if there's a way, I work at the high school, I don't know if there's a way we could find a way to encourage those kids to, rotate and continue to be available, especially like late in the season if it's sporadic and they only got to put in a few days, maybe. If there's some problem with the high school letting them out or they're worried about their grades or attendance, I think there's ways to work with that so that they can take the time off. They've already got all the qualifications, the training, quick card.
Well,
So
we did have one girl that was at Revilla. She did like a work study, so she worked September. Really helped out, give us some extra slot. It was really nice going from 12 people to 18 people, so it'd be really nice to go from 18 to 24, like half the crew at least that sticks around. And the city's going to see the effects of that as well, with the able to man those crosswalks. Not have just one person out there on the street when you have 14,000 people in town. So it gets a little hairy. Luckily, the weather wasn't as good this fall as it was last fall. Last fall was great.
You have a question?
Yeah, and for the high school people, do you contact the high school so they can put the word out amongst the student body that there's a possibility?
As far as I know, a lot of it's word of mouth. I don't even know if these kids look on job sites. They just hear
Maybe
about
talk to the counselors or something?
There is a job fair we're gonna do,
Okay,
but it's in February, kind of right at the end.
Right.
But we're gonna do it, at least get the word out there
Sure.
for next year if it doesn't do anything for this year.
Yeah.
Or if we're still looking for people, that could be it. But that's late February,
okay.
so we'll do that.
And then what Jim says is a good idea, or Tim, excuse me, I mean.
Eric.
Yeah, Eric. Targeting maybe the retirees, but you need to figure out how to get the word out to those.
Yeah.
Maybe hang out at the, where they drink their coffee in the mornings or something.
Know any longliners that don't want to go longliner?
Right? Yeah.
Okay. Board member comments. Lee? Oh, okay. Steve?
I got nothing.
Nothing?
Glad we got this through the council and we're not the bad guys anymore.
It's gonna ship to somebody else.
You'll have another chance, don't worry.
Oh,
To be the bad guy. There's never a shortage of that.
Thank you, staff, for everything you do.
Jim?
no comments. Thanks for all the preparation.
Thanks.
Okay. Just a couple things. Pardon me. So this body wanted me to take back closing the port on the 4th. So I'm going to put that on a future agenda. I don't have a date yet. When I do know, I'll try to let May know so that she can let you guys know to either feel free to come and speak at the meeting or send it an email or watch it and see what you think. I'm already getting calls about it. The word got out quick. Holy smokes, did the word get out quick?
Yay or nay? Not good words?
No. Me and Eric talked about this one night in the parking lot before it actually came to the fab, and my thought at the time was, anything that you guys want to put on any agenda here, do so. Don't worry about whether it's popular or not. The will of the body was to have me take this back to the council, and I supported that too. Doesn't have to be popular. It's a conversation, and I think, quite frankly, I think it's an education opportunity for the community, because tones and times are changing, and the preponderance of opinion doesn't seem to be quite what it was. But that being said, just expect a lot of public input on that. I'll get a hold of you if you don't mind, so you can kind of help me put together this agenda item, because I'll be presenting it, okay? The other one we talked a little bit about is a limitation to the cruise ship season as far as capacity and or length, but I know we don't really control either of those things, but this board supported that. I'm waiting for a report in conjunction with that before I put it on the agenda. I'm trying to get some data put together relative to how, as cruise ship passenger numbers have climbed over the years, how has that coincided with sales tax, public debt, deferred CIP projects? I want to just see the cold hard data is okay. Is more always better, right? So instead of having it opinion based, let's just find out, what does an greater number of passengers come into this town mean? If it's a good thing, great, then let's keep going. If it's not, then we need to rethink it a little bit if the town wants to go that way. The intangibles on that one do boil down to more quality of life things. Those are a little bit harder to quantify. So those are two things that this board discussed that'll get on agendas, and I'll try to give you guys a heads up so you can weigh in or watch as you guys see fit. That's all I got. Thank you guys as always. And with that, we need to motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
We're out. Thank you guys.